Like, I don't understand. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm gonna talk about app right now because I don't know why I'm gonna talk about app. Don't ask me what questions. They have like, are you more caliente or whatever, and it's like the weirdest fucking thing. And you have to swipe right or left, and it's so fucking weird. So right now I'm on. Do you handle conflict with morally ambiguous conversation or adult conversation? What do you mean by conflict? What do you mean by adult conversations? What is morally ambiguous conversation? I'm very confused. I guess adult conversation. Like there's a hand sign, cup of coffee, and a love letter, and the morally ambiguous conversation is like a bang, and a bomb, and a knife. I'm very confused. I'm gonna say adult. Now it's like people describe you as a winky face or smiling face. They wouldn't describe me with any smiling aspects. So I say winky, I guess. Do you like some taco with your hot sauce or a hot sauce with your taco? I mean, I like some type of hot sauce. I'm not really like a burn me in the throat type of person. 15% off with the calorie. I don't eat chicken or meat. That doesn't help me. The funny thing, I only want to talk about app to see how much money it would cost to even buy the stuff I need. Why did I record this? Why is this the first thing in my thing? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me, dude? I have not been able to play a campaign in years. I feel like that is my fault. It takes a lot of planning and timing when it comes to handling a Dungeon and Dragon session. Main reason is because you have to plan when you can do the sessions and also need to select the time when everyone is available to play. A lot of campaigns are run by people that have normal lives, so that means they have to work around work schedules and family time. That is the weird thing with adulthood most of the time. It takes a lot to plan play dates. I don't really deal with all of that because I'm usually the one that has to set up hangout sessions. I'm too lazy to do that right now. Dungeon and Dragon sessions themselves can take weeks or longer to complete a full run. That really depends on your dungeon master and the plans for your campaign. The funny thing is that for how much I love to watch and play D&D, I believe I've only really played 3 to 4 times in total. One of these times, I was actually a dungeon master for a one-shot, which was a very interesting experience. I guess I should talk more in depth about that session, since I don't think I ever really fully talked about it in a setting with captions. So, I went to school for creative writing and had to do a lot of interesting assignments for my classes. One of them had me volunteering at an event for this comic book store, and for it, I had to DM. I didn't really play anything because at the end of the day, it was a last minute thing. I didn't really know any of the people playing. Just saw up a basic story in my head, had the adventurers introduce themselves, and we started the adventure. So I started them in a dungeon, where they were commissioned to scout out and discover all that it held. I won't be able to accurately describe the whole story, because that happened years ago, and like I said, it was just a random story I made up. The thing I remember the most about this one shot was that one of my adventurers decided to kill an orc. Okay, so killing an orc in D&D is probably one of the most normal things for a party of adventurers to do. So the final boss for the dungeon was a female orc, and after a grueling fight, the party won. Thing is, after the final blow, the female orc pushed out a final surprise for the party. The surprise was the baby orc, which all of the party except one adventurer voted to kill. I can tell you that we all looked at him in horror, as we all realized what he said. Thinking back made sense because in that world you kind of snuff out anything that could kill you later on, but usually you wouldn't harm a child. The reason for this is because the child did no evil, and at the end of the day, you were the one that invaded into the orc's home. That's the great thing about stories. There's always another side that you may not have thought of. Even though it's years down the line, I feel like I should complete the story. So it didn't just end at the moment the one shot ended. After deciding to spare the child, a human rushes through the party and takes the child into their hands. He holds the child next to the mother as tears roll down his face, and he embraces her. The party finally gets rid of their adrenaline haze and takes in their surroundings. There's a crudely made hut, and around the hut there are small toys sprawled about that all look handmade. This wasn't the lair of an evil group, but of a family that made a home of an abandoned dungeon. When the party members tried to let words out, every attempt was drowned out by the sounds of a wailing child. As an archer tried to go and console the grieving father, she is stopped by the warrior, and they walk away. Archer looked back to see blood tears falling from the father's face. She can tell that the father had every right to go and attack, but that Will is being overtaken by the crying infant in his hands. The scout mission that won the money that would set them off for a few months now felt heavier in their hands as they took their rewards. There were rumors of a vampire and now took over the dungeon, killed anyone that entered, but scouting parties were always sent out because of the loud cries that came from within. The archer left the party after this, grief-stricken, returned to the dungeon where she had slayed the mother, to beg for forgiveness to the fractured family. Father wanted to kill the archer for indiscriminately killing his wife, his pregnant wife, but knew that would just give the archer relief from her tortured soul. So he told her to help him raise his child. That way she could atone, and then one day tell her child why their mother was never around. Now, this is a work in progress, so things will change when it comes to the origin story and how everything went down, but this is just a first draft. I feel like this is a really interesting ending for the campaign, because I did have a character I was always thinking about making if I were to ever join the campaign again. This would be the perfect origin story for him because you would know where everything went wrong, also beginning of a sad story. So the character I wanted to make was of the child, mother's child that was raised by the grieving father. The grieving father also happened to be a vampire, which would mean that our small protagonist was a rare half-orc Dhampir. Yes, I made a half-orc Dhampir because I love both races, wanted to combine the two, and thankfully I wasn't the only one that ever thought about it. The weird thing is I thought about having this very basic origin story for my character, which was that his father tried spawning a bunch of kids with different races to see if he can make a Dhampir for every race. Basically Nightcrawler's origin story, but the father wasn't the highest ranking demon. Also, this makes me think of the upbringing and how our character dealt with growing up in the dungeon and his father being villainized. I'm actually trying my hand at making a story for this character, because I feel like it will be very interesting to open up this world. But yeah, the main problems they would deal with was already introduced at the end of the campaign. It would be very hard to live a regular life when you have to deal with scouts trying to invade your home to see if the rumors about a villainous vampire residing there hold true. But the first time scouting parties are sent out would be about the noise problems. That noise being our little miracle child that survived a premature birth. It's also been a while since I actually used my degree and wrote a story, so it will be a while till I make a story-based video. Also, when I wish I continued practicing art so I could bring my story to life, truthfully I may try my hand at it again when I start mapping out the world in the story. So this video has kind of gone off the rails, in a good way because I was going to talk about how expensive it is to build a character for online campaigns. It is cheaper to make a character when you are doing an in-person campaign because you can easily find the digital versions of the books your story is going to be founded in. When it comes to online campaigns, you would usually have to buy all the books needed for your world, which in my opinion feels a little predatory because nothing is bundled together, and if they are, it can get really pricey. So my friend uses Fantasy Grounds for a campaign, so let's look at how much you would need to buy different bundles. So you get 7 books in the D&D Essentials bundle, and if you go to complete this bundle, you spend about $180 before taxes. It is on sale, I'm guessing, because if it wasn't, you would spend about $210 before taxes. This is very expensive for a bundle, but sadly this isn't the only site that does this. So, but look at Pathfinder, since I tend to play a lot of Pathfinder video games. There's a book less than the other bundle. But if you want other books that have different stories, then you will have to buy the other bundles. I'm not going to add this, but I'm just going to showcase this. But as you can see, there is like Adventure bundle for only 1, 2, and then just a bunch of fucking shit. This 2E Remastered bundle will set you back about $206 with the discount. It's a lot more than a D&D bundle. Out the discount, it would put you back about $360, which I would never pay for, truthfully. So, if you go back to Demiplane and look at the goblin we made on there, we can see that it was a character made with limited resources. I know you would love to see me create another character. We are kind of going to speedrun that process to get to my point. So I wanted to create a Nadi, which is a shapeshifter class, and to get access to it, I would have to pay $40. I wouldn't be able to select it because I'm not paying for something I don't plan on playing anytime soon. So remember when I was creating the goblin character, I made them into a Razor Tooth goblin, wasn't able to fully optimize them. Now in order to make the best use of the Razor Tooth aspect, I would have to get the Fang Sharpener Ancestry Feat. Sad thing is that you would have to buy a book to fully unlock it. Now if we look, we see that as a part of the Lost Omens book set. Means if I bought the Lost Omens bundle, I would have access to my Naughty race. I don't like how it's behind the paywall since you're able to use Razortooth Heritage, but not the thing that brings it online. If you're going to have an ancestry feat associated with the heritage, either put them both behind the paywall, or make them both free. Now, in order to get the best use of it, you'll have to buy the Lost Omens character guide, which costs $40. I will choose everything I chose before so we can go to this quicker. I don't really like that you aren't able to read the backgrounds just because you haven't purchased the books. Can't really continue this when I can't read what other things are included in the background tabs. I get why things are hidden, but at the same time, I'm not going to know what something may entail just by the name alone. And truthfully, this means nothing to someone that plans to play a game. A lot of times, usually a DM is the one that buys the books, and you kind of just join them along for the ride. Someone that has a lot of books, and a lot of them were bought as bundles, so nothing that helps me with these kind of sites. Humble Bundle is usually your best friend if you want D&D books for cheap. I would see if they have anything, but wouldn't help you since it would be months after. So at this very time, they give you the books needed to better optimize my goblin, which is actually very funny. $35 for 52 items, which also includes a game, is a great deal. I have the game, otherwise I would just buy it all, and funny enough, I would probably get the bundle just to say I have it. Okay. Thankfully, I checked my Pazio account, and saw that with the Pathfinder bundle, I got previously included everything in this bundle. This is why you always check before you buy stuff on Humble Bundle, because you might have already gotten everything that was included in that bundle. Okay, so we did a lot for this video, which was deciding on a future video, and also some future content with making a story for an unnamed character. Looking at my Humble Bundle account, I saw that I had some art software that I can use if I start drawing again. Don't know if I will start doing that, but like I said earlier, only time will tell. Same thing I would probably do on Sundays when I'm less busy, or on Saturday nights. That depends if I decide to edit on these days. Again, making a story and then making art to complement it is a lot of work. Getting any of my writing skills back wouldn't take me long. But art skills would actually need to be learned. Even when I was practicing art, it wasn't that good. But to make art for videos, I wanted to be the best it could be. It means it might take forever to make that video because there would be a lot of things required to put it together. Also, you have to remember that this video, mainly about how expensive it gets to play D&D or mainly virtual tabletops. I showed examples, and I was surprised by how much it was for these bundles. I was even more surprised that I own digital versions of these books. I sadly couldn't use what I own and apply it to these different sites because I'd rather not have to deal with buying these books again. Like I said, I thankfully don't have to deal with these expenses because I don't play campaigns. I just buy video games that kind of follow these books or rule sets. Like I couldn't recommend Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous enough because that is such a good game. Also, it is easier to play a video game than get a bunch of people together to run a campaign, and also have to deal with their schedules. Anyway, I'm going to go and get some Taco Bell and boba to discuss it with myself later as I debate practicing art. My name is Only Naked Business, and I hope you all have a great week. Later days. I love you all. Bye. Mwah. Saying kisses conventionally. Love you all. Mwah. Bye. Love you. Bye.